Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about the practical on heat flow through the composite wall. So these are the this is the objective of the today's experiment is to study the heat transfer through conduction in a composite wall. The aim of the experiment is to calculate the total thermal resistance of a composite wall. Then the second aim is to calculate the total thermal conductivity of the composite wall. The third aim is to calculate the thermal conductivity of one material in the composite wall. So basically we are provided with the three different materials and we need to find the thermal conductivity of any one material which is not known to us. Then we need to plot a temperature profile along the composite wall. Now here we have one diagram which help us to understand the internal constructions of the composite wall. So here you can see that at the center we have one plate, or we can call it a disk also. So this is nothing but the heater. Okay, so whatever the electrical energy, that energy will be used to heat this plate. So we called it as a heater plate. Okay, above heater plate there is the same types of the plate, circular plate. So that is made of the cast iron. Okay, and above cast iron there is a plate of bakelite material. Okay, so this is represented by your pink color. Then above this bakelite plate there is a plate of the press wood, okay, which is represented by the green color. So in the same pattern you can find that there are a plate in a same sequence at a bottom of this heater. So below this heater there is a plate of the cast iron, then it is followed by the bakelite plate, and at the bottom there is a plate of the press wood. So in this way, this is three plates are arranged above heater and the three plates are arranged below heater. Then we have provided the temperature sensors in between the plates. Okay, so here we can see that this is our heater plate and this is the plate of the cast iron. So in between them there is a one temperature sensor who measure the temperature as a T1. In the same way, there is a temperature sensor between the heater and the cast iron plate which is there at the bottom of the heater. Okay, and that temperature sensor measures the temperature T2. Okay, then above this cast iron plate there is a plate of a bakelite and the interface temperature is represented by the T3 at the top, and at bottom it is represented by the T4. Okay, and the interface temperature of a bakelite plate and the press wood plate is represented by the T5 at the top, and at the bottom it is represented by the T6. And the surface temperature of the press wood is represented by a temperature T7, and at the bottom it is represented by the temperature T8. So in this way we have total 4 temperature sensor which measures the interface temperatures between the plates. Now this is a block diagram representation of the actual setup. So the diagram which we have saw now exactly resemble this one, but here it is not possible to distinguish between the plates. So at the center we have the heater, and above it there is a cast iron, above cast iron there is a bakelite plate, and above bakelite there is a press wood plate. So in the same manner the plates are being arranged over here. Okay, then this is our control panel. So in a control panel we will be able to see the temperature of the interface over here. So here the button is being provided. If you press that button, so we will be able to see the temperature over here. Okay, and this is a screen. At the bottom of the screen there will be the one bulb which help us to measure or to find the power consumed by this heater. Now here is the procedure which we need to follow for operating the experiment of heat flow through the composite wall. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to ensure that all the switches on the panel should be on a off mode. And if they are in the off mode, then what we need to do, we need to start the electrical supply to it. Then we need to switch on the main button on the panel. Then we need to note down the ambient temperature. Okay, then after that we can set a temperature of a heater in a range of 40 to 80 degree Celsius. So in between this temperature, any temperature we can set, and with the help of the panel or control panel, we will be able to do that. Then we need to allow the setup to come under a steady state conditions. So we know that what is steady state condition, where the parameters or the variable doesn't change with respect to the time and the space. So that's why after a time of approximately 1.5 hours, we need to start taking the readings of all the temperature from T1 to T2 and also the pulses. So we need to measure the number of pulses and the time required for the pulses. So those readings also we need to measure. Then we can repeat this experiment at a different set value of the temperature. Okay. So one care we need to do, we need to take, when we take the reading, the difference between the consecutive reading should not be greater than 0.2 degrees Celsius. It should be always, the difference should be always less than 0.2 degrees Celsius. So this reading we need to take. Once we are done with taking the reading, so we need to follow the closing procedure. So for closing the experiment, we need to first switch off the heater power supply. Then after that we need to switch off the main power supply. Now this is the setup of your heat transfer coefficient through the composite wall. So here we can see that if we want to measure the temperature from T1 to T8, so that provision is being over here. So now here I can see that this is my T8 temperature. So if I want to go for the T7 temperature, so here you can see that I can go to my T7 temperature. So T7 is showing me something 38 degrees Celsius. So in the same way, if I want to decrease the temperature to say T6 or T5 or T4, so those temperature will be shown over here. So here we can see that our T4 temperature is a 57.4 degrees Celsius. Our T3 temperature is a 57.9 degrees Celsius, whereas T1 temperature is 60.1 degrees Celsius and T1 is 60 degrees Celsius, or we can see that it is showing us 59.9 degrees Celsius. So our T1 and T2 are showing approximately very near to 60 degrees Celsius, because our set point temperature is the 60 degrees Celsius. Now this is the light which we need to observe. So here we can observe the blinking of the light. So once the blinking start, so from that you can start the time and you can measure the number of blinking. And this is our actual setup. So in this setup we have the 3 plates. At the center we have the heater. Above that we have the cast iron. Above the cast iron we have the bakelite plate, and above bakelite plate we have the press wood. In the same way we have the 3 plates below heater as well. So this is our complete system. Now the next step is observation and the calculation. So for that the data is provided. So the thermal conductivity of the cast iron, it is given. It is represented by the K1 and its value is 52 watt per meter degree Celsius. Then after that the thermal conductivity of the bakelite is given. It is 1.4 watt per meter degree Celsius. It is represented by the K2. Then the thermal conductivity of the third material, that is not given, that is the press wood. Then the diameter of the slab is given. It is 0.25 meter. So this diameter is the same for all the materials. Then the thickness of the cast iron plate is represented by the X1 and its value is 0.019 meter. Then the thickness of the bakelite plate is represented by the X2 and its value is 0.016 meter. The thickness of the press wood is represented by the X3 and its value is 0.011 meter. Now this is the observation table. So here P is the number of pulses, then TP is the time required for the pulses, then T1 to here are the T8 temperature. So that is already been explained. So those value we need to write over here. Then here is the calculation part. So once we reach a steady state condition, so next we need to go to the calculation part. So probably we will do the calculations for the last reading when we will reach the steady state condition. So first is the calculations of heat supply. So that is nothing but the Q. So Q is equal to what? Capital P divided by the TP into 3600 divided by the EMC. EMC is the energy meter constant and its value is 3200. That is to be multiplied by the 1000, and we got this energy supplied per unit time in the unit of watt. Then after that we need to find the heat transfer area. So the equation of heat transfer area is pi d square by 4. So d is the diameter of the slab, so area can be easily calculated. Then after that we calculate the heat flux, that is a Q. Now what we are doing, we have divided this Q by the 2. So why this 2? Because heat is flowing in both the direction, that is the upward directions and the downward direction in a setup. But we need to find the value of Q in only one direction. So that's why we have divided by the 2. So the equations become capital Q divided by 2 times area. Then after that we need to find the delta T. So delta T is nothing but what? It is a temperature difference between the surface of a heater and the surface of the press wool. Okay, so as we got a plate above and below heater, so that's why we took the average temperature. So it is T1 minus T7 plus T2 minus T8. Whereas T1 is nothing but what? T1 is the surface temperature of the heater. Okay, and T7 is the surface temperature of the press wood, but it is in a top plates. Okay, and T2 is nothing but the surface temperature of a heater at the bottom, and T8 is the surface temperature of the press wood plate at the bottom. Then after that we need to find the total resistance. So total resistance is what? That is equal to delta T divided by the Q. Okay, then after that we need to find the delta X. So delta X is nothing but it is a total thermal thickness of the composite wall. So it is nothing but X1 plus X2 plus X3. Whereas X1 is nothing but the thermal conductivity of your cast iron. X2 is nothing but the thickness of your press wood and bakelite plate, and X3 is nothing but the thickness of your press wood. So we need to add up all the thicknesses and we will get this value of the total thickness. Then K effective is nothing but the overall thermal conductivity of the composite wall, and its value is equal to small q into the delta X divided by the delta T. Then after that, this is the equation for calculating the thermal conductivity of the press wood. So which is K3 is equal to X3 divided by delta X upon Q, which is nothing but the RT, which we have already calculated, minus X1 upon K1 plus X2 upon K2. So this is how we will be able to calculate the value of this K3. Then after that we need to plot a graph of thickness of the composite wall versus the temperature at the interface. Okay, so we will be find the thickness as Xa is equal to 0. So Xa is nothing but the point which is on the surface of the heater. That's why it is the reference point. So we say Xa is equal to the 0. Then Xa1 is nothing but what? Xa1 is nothing but the summation of Xa plus X1, whereas Xa is 0 and X1 is nothing but the thickness of your cast iron. Then after that, in the same way we will be able to find the Xa2. So simply what we need to do, we need to add this Xa with the X2, and X2 is nothing but the thickness of your bakelite plate. Then after that we need to find the X3. So X3 is nothing but the summation of Xa2 plus X3. So X3 is nothing but what? It is the thickness of press wood. Then after that we need to find the average temperature, that is the average interface temperature. So TA1 is equal to T1 plus T2 divided by the 2. TA2 is nothing but T3 plus T4 divided by 2. TA3 is nothing but T5 plus T6 divided by 2. And TA4 is nothing but T7 plus T8 divided by 2. So this is how we will be able to find the average interface temperature. Then we need to put all this value over here, and at the last we need to draw a graph. So we have done these calculations with the help of Excel sheet. So that Now we'll see the calculations with the help of the Excel sheet. So here we have written the data which is given to us, and this is the reading which we took after performing the experiment. So we have took this reading after 1.5 hours after starting the experiment. And here you can see that up to the reading 6 we are almost getting a constant reading. So no variation is being comes over here, or the difference between these two consecutive readings is less than 0.2. So first of all, we calculate the value of the Q. So Q is nothing but what? It is the rate of heat flow. So we substitute the value of the P from here. Number of pulses we took only one. Then TP is nothing but the time per pulses, and this is in the seconds. So 57.1 value we have substitute, and EMC is the 3200. So that we have substituted, and we got this value of the Q. It is 19.7 watt. Then after that we calculate the heat transfer area. So the equation of heat transfer area is what? Pi by 4 into the D square. So we know the value of the D, it is 0.21. So from that we calculate the value of this area. Then after that, next step is to calculate the value of the net heat flow. So net heat flow is what? Capital Q divided by 2 times area. So net heat flow value is 200.79 watt per meter square. Then we'll find the temperature gradient. So temperature gradient is delta T. This is the equation for that. And we got the value of delta T as 27.05 degrees Celsius. Then next step is to calculate the resistance to the heat flow. So that is nothing but what? Delta T upon Q. So the delta T value is already known. That is 27.05, and Q is nothing but the 200.79 watt per meter square. So if you substitute over here, the total resistance we got to be the 0.13472. Then after that, the total thickness of the wall, which is nothing but the summation of individual thickness. So x1 plus x2 plus x3. So we got its value to be the 0.046 meter. Then the total thermal conductivity of the composite wall. So the equation for total thermal conductivity is Q into delta X divided by the delta T. So we got the value of total thermal conductivity as 0.34145 watt per meter degree Celsius. Then this is the equation for calculating thermal conductivity of the unknown material, which is our press wood. So we got its value to be the 0.0895 watt per meter degree Celsius. Then we need to draw a graph of temperature versus the distance from the reference point. Okay, so we took the value of the XA, XA1, XA2 and XA3. XA is nothing but what? It is the reference point to measure distance. We express it in a unit of meter. So as this point is lying on the surface of heater only, so the value of XA is equal to the 0. XA1 is what? It is the distance of the reference point to the cast iron slab. So its value is nothing but the x1. So that's why we have written the equation XA1 is equal to XA plus x1. Then XA2 is nothing but the distance of the reference point to the bakelite slab. So from bakelite slab, we need to take a distance up to the reference point which is on the surface of heater. So XA2 is nothing but what? It is XA plus x1 plus x2. Then x3. x3 is nothing but what? It is the distance of the reference point to the pressed wood slab. So its equation is XA plus x1 plus x2 plus x3. So we got the value of XA is 0, XA1 as 0.019, XA2 is 0.035 and XA3 is 0.046. Then we find the average temperature. So here TA1 is, it is the average temperature at the interface of cast iron slab and heater. Okay, then TA2 is nothing but what? It is the average temperature at the interface of cast iron slab and the bakelite plate. Then T3 is nothing but the average temperature at the interface of bakelite slab and the press wood, while the T4 is the surface temperature of the press wood. So this is the equation for TA1, which is T1 plus T2 divided by the 2. So we got its value to be the 60.5 degrees Celsius. So as our set point is 60 degrees Celsius, so we got exactly the temperature around it. Then TA2 is what? It is a T3 plus T4 divided by the 2. So we got a value of TA2 as 57.55 degrees Celsius. Then TA3 we got to be the 49.25 degrees Celsius, and TA4 is 33 degrees Celsius. Then we plot a graph of distance versus the temperature, and we got these types of the profile over here. Thank you students. Happy learning.